Hi guys, welcome. If you're new here, my name's Nikki. I'm a beekeeper and I make beekeeping videos. If that's something you like watching, hit the subscribe button. If you're one of my returning subscribers, thank you so much for coming back and listening to what I have to say. I really appreciate it. Today I'm going to go out and do our week 17 inspection on our newest hive of honeybees. If you haven't seen the previous videos in this series, I will link them down in the description below and you can check them out if you'd like. Last week, just a quick kind of recap, we kind of went in, had some more issues with yellow jackets, which is pretty common for this time of year. Still lots of brood in there, lots of eggs. They are storing more, not doing much with that honey super still, so I've pretty much given up on that. I did have a broken frame in the hive last week that I tried to repair. I wasn't able to do that, so I just kind of did a quick fix and put it back in. I didn't have all the tools and equipment with me to do it, and I didn't want to upset the bees anymore, so I am going to fix that today. If I'm not able to fix it, I'm just going to transfer all those frames into another deep and bring that back up to the house to fix it, so we'll see how this goes. Well, I'm going to get my stuff on and we'll go out and get started. Check on these girls. So last week when I was in here, this second box here, the first deep, had a frame that was coming apart, and I attempted to fix that last week. I was going to pull it all the way out and repair it, but I wasn't able to because there were so many yellow jackets. The bees were really fired up, so I just temporarily kind of put it together, put it back in the hive. It was the safest thing for the bees. But I did bring another deep out here today, so I'm going to transfer the other frames into this and then hopefully pull that frame out and get it fixed. I still do not have a queen excluder on. Now, I've pretty much kind of given up on this super. I don't think they're going to get much drawn out this year on it. I'm still going to leave it on, but they have significantly increased what they have down in the deeps. And again, I have extra resources for these girls if they need it for winter. This hive, I know I say it all the time, but they really do make so much propolis. See all the propolis there? I feel a little bit bad switching out their deep temporarily because they have done such a good job propolizing it. And hopefully I'll clean it up and give it back to them. Yeah. She's not up there. This time of year is really tough because yellow jackets kind of lie in wait, I feel like, for us to open our hives. This is the time of year when they really increase in numbers in their nests. So you may not notice them until about this point in the year. But they will eat anything from the hive. They'll eat the bees, the larvae, the honey, the nectar, and really just come in and kind of destroy an entire colony. So that's happened on my last couple inspections where I've opened them up and the yellow jackets have kind of ticked them off. I'm just going to quickly go through here. Again, on these outer ones, just a tiny bit drawn out. Hopefully we've got some of the syrup and nectar down below that they have filled capped over this week. And I've got some progress on the next frame. They've got some more comb on it. Again, I don't know that I'd be able to kind of show you guys, but they start drawing these out just really, really slow and not enough to store anything in them. So I'm just going to go ahead and pull this off, and we'll go ahead and look down in the deeps. Okay, so I'm going to look down here, and as I take these frames out, I'm going to put them in the deep right here. And it looks like the kind of quick repair I did last week really did keep the frame in place, but that's not going to really hold long term. So we're going to take that out and try to fix it. I did bring an empty frame out here with me. If I need to, I can take it up to the house and fix it. And put that in the meantime. Very sticky. I'm so excited to see how much they've done in here. Okay, so this outer frame, completely drawn out now, frame of syrup, they're capping it. And same on the back. Really rich color. This entire frame is syrup and nectar. There's that. And some of this was a little more capped, I think, a couple weeks ago, so it looks like they have gone in and used up some of it. Pretty new box. This box was heavy last week. They have so much syrup and nectar up here. Every year when it gets this full, I tell myself I'm going to switch to 8 frames, and I have not yet. So we've got a little bit of capped brood in this frame. The rest is syrup and nectar. Same thing on the other side, lots of syrup and nectar. A little bit of capped brood, kind of sparse, and a couple drone cells. There's that side. And this side. And bees coming out. Last week I was a little bit concerned because I hadn't seen my queen or any eggs up top, but she had just done a tremendous job laying down in the bottom. So much purple. Okay. And I've got some capped brood and a little bit of syrup around the edges and capped brood with a little bit of syrup there too. There is that side. She is still laying. And that side. Lots of little bees coming out. I don't know if I can get that on there or not. Hopefully you can see it. It's hard for me to see in the light, but there's probably 10 or so bees that are chewing their way out right now. This is our frame here, the next one that's broken. It looks like pretty empty frame. I'm gonna leave it in here until we get closer to being done. They really propylized it to the next frame, so they tried to fix it. What I'm going to do is yeah, that frame's got to come out. Even from last week until this week, it just got a little bit worse. So I'm going to leave it in there, take it out last. It'll be easier to do when there's no other frames in here. And we will try to really make sure a queen's not on there. So I got a frame that's pretty empty. It's got eggs in here. We've got some eggs, some little bit of pollen, and some syrup in some of the cells. Lots of eggs in this frame. And on this side, I've got eggs and capped brood. Okay. There is that side. Some eggs, some capped brood. And the majority of these are eggs. Got a little bit of capped brood and a little bit of syrup there. See if I can get a good look on this frame. It looks like it's either empty or has eggs, and to wait till I get this a little more empty to look. I've got a frame of eggs and some syrup. Some of it's capped. And I got a stink bug. And another frame, lots of eggs and some capped syrup. Oh, the stink bugs are driving me crazy lately. I don't know wherever you guys live if you have them. Let me know if you do, because they are just a pain in my butt. There's that side. And this side, so lots and lots of eggs in here, some pretty capped syrup, and a yellow jacket flying around. These things are such pests. I'm going to get them out. We're going to get rid of him. And he's smashed, so I did smash that yellow jacket. He kind of fell in there. They will carry him out. Oh, hello. I got a little baby on me. I got a little bee here. She's a little nurse bee. Here you go, girl. So again, these yellow jackets just lie in wait for when I open these hives. And I've got a frame here. They've drawn it out a little bit more. It's got some capped syrup on it. And another frame of syrup. A little bit of bridge comb there. Still really increasing the stores down here. There's that side. And if you can tell on this one, they've drawn it out a little bit more, but that is syrup as well. I guess I should say syrup and nectar, a combination of both. So I say syrup and nectar because what's in here now is not considered honey because I do feed them. And somebody asked on one of my previous videos why I have a super on any of my hives when I'm feeding them. And that's because anything from this point forward that they make is for them. I'm not going to extract any of it. So it's not going to be consumed. So if you were saving and you were trying to extract, you would not do that. This is a really, really heavy frame. Wow, super heavy. Lots of syrup and nectar. Capped. Oh, beautiful. That's a full frame of capped syrup and nectar. Super, super heavy. And it's actually built out pretty well. So look how pretty that is. These are all stores for them to use. And there is that side. So sticky. Really happy with the storage up here. So this frame I've got some capped syrup and nectar and just really not anything there. Here you've got that side and here. And what I'm going to do is, since I have this other box, the next frame I can already tell is empty. So I am just going to spend a second and kind of rearrange these a little bit and move that outer frame to the inside. I am going to add, I'm not going to be able to fix this frame and put it right back in. So I am going to add an empty frame for them. So I want to push this one toward the inside a little bit to help them draw it out. So our last frame is empty. When I get this box all the way off, I'm going to take just a shot of all of the propolis in here. It's incredible. So this is empty there, but I will bring this up to just show you kind of the amount of propolis there. Just see how thick this hive is. Like every frame is pretty much like that, just so thick and sticky. And the hive next to them barely makes any. So I'm going to stick this one in. So I am going to put a empty frame in. If I can fix this frame, I'll give it back to them. But this is just an empty frame. It's got some wax on it. I don't really love this frame. It is white not my favorite. Really tough to see eggs in it. But toward the end of summer into fall, this is pretty much what I have left. So the white is always like a last resort for me. I don't love it. Okay, so I'm going to pull this off. We are going to look down in the next deep and then hopefully try to get this frame out, get the bees off of it, and take it up to the house and try to fix it. I'll just show you here. Look at all that propolis they make. I just wanted to show you the frame and kind of how it broke here. It just came apart there. And this doesn't happen very often, but it will occasionally. So again, this is very difficult to take out with all the other frames in there. So I'm going to pull it off, pull the box off, let some of the bees leave the frame and go back into the hive, and hopefully take this back up to the house and fix it, if I can. Okay, so I did take that box off. There in the front there is the frame that has come apart. I just kind of propped it up there, and we'll let the bees make their way into the hive, and I'll brush off whatever's left on there, but already most of them have gone back inside the hive. Sorry, I had to smash a little yellow jacket there. There were lots of eggs down here last week. And we may cut this one short too, because again, they're not incredibly happy. They're not upset with me at the moment. Ooh, had a little breeze there. This frame is always so difficult to get out. I try to pull it out really, really slow so we don't roll anybody. Still not much here on the outer frame. Lots of pretty pollen and syrup and nectar. They have drawn this frame all the way out. I'll bring it up and show you, and then I will move my smoker. Lots of pollen and sugar and nectar in there. And again, still kind of not doing a lot there on the outer side. This bottom box is significantly lighter than the second. Just even pulling these frames up, I'm kind of moving the box around a little bit, which was not the case with the other. Okay, pretty frame of capped syrup and a lot of empty space in there. And lots of pollen. And then we've got some sugar syrup around the edges. I just said I'd move my smoker and I moved it right back to the same spot. Look at all that pollen in there and sugar syrup. And we've got some empty cells there, but some sugar syrup in there stored as well, which is more than was last week. But definitely more pollen. I'm going to move my smoker for real this time. Okay. Got some capped brood and some larvae. These were some of the eggs that we saw last week. And a little bit of syrup on the outside. Lots of drone cells, some pollen, a little bit of sugar syrup. Just kind of a mixture. I just realized we hadn't seen any queen cells in here today. So there's what that side looks like. You see all the drone cells there. And that side there. There's a lot more pollen in this frame as well. The goldenrod here is definitely blooming. You can smell it. Oh, lots of pollen in here. We've got lots of pollen. We've got some capped brood. And so much pollen on the next side. So pretty. Look at all of that pollen there. And on the back side, we've got capped brood and a lot of pollen as well. Okay, here I've got some syrup, some capped brood, and pollen, just kind of a mix of things in this frame. And on this side, that's the same. We have lots of larvae in here that's not capped over yet. We've got capped brood and pollen kind of sporadically. There's that side. And it's difficult to show you, but there's some larvae that's not quite capped over yet on both sides. Another frame with lots of pollen, some capped brood, really a ton of pollen. So nice to see. This colony has stored a lot of pollen for the most part. And we've got some capped brood on this side. We've got some cells, they look like they're backfilling with syrup. And some pollen, that side. And that side as well. No queen cells. Oh no, I might stop this inspection. Okay, so I just kind of saw 2 yellow jackets fly into the hive. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 more frames to look at. For their sake, I'm going to go ahead and pack them up. I really don't want any more yellow jackets to get in here. And they're a little agitated, not at me, but I am going to go ahead and pack them back up and put this deep back on. I can kind of see here we've got some yellow jackets. So yeah, for their sake, I'm going to go ahead and call this inspection, and then we'll go over what we've seen so far. Okay, that wraps up week 17 inspection on this hive. Still having problems with our yellow jackets, which is pretty common for this time of year. I do feel like, however, this year is significantly worse than previous years. Let me know your experience with that in 2021 down in the description below, and see if you're having a similar experience to mine. They have not done anything more with that super, so I am not going to have them continue to draw that out. I'll give that to the hive next to them are a different hive to be able to draw out. I've said many times that I have additional frames of honey that I'll be able to give them for winter, so I'm not concerned about that. We saw lots of brood in here. We saw eggs still storing, a ton of syrup and a ton of nectar, lots and lots of pollen in there as well. I was not able to fix that broken frame while I was out there today, so I did just replace all of those frames into a second deep and put that back on the hive. I did put an empty frame in its place. I will try to repair the frame that's in there because there's a lot of good resources in that frame, and it's completely drawn out. So I will try to reuse the foundation and put that back into the hive here shortly. We did cut this inspection short again because the yellow jackets were really getting them fired up. Overall, that's pretty much it, you guys. If you have any questions, please leave them down in the comment section below. If you found this video helpful, give it a like. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.